I think the fact that you have 24 winners with 4 winners per region, equally distributed, is a very strong statement that we are making, that every part of the world deserves this equal representation and equal voice. We saw a lot of personal documentary work coming out, which was really nice to give us an intimate look at people's lives. But we also had a lot of stories that were about environmental destruction by man and its impact, the coup d'etat in Myanmar, and the ongoing protests in Thailand as well, and of course the ongoing fallout from COVID all across the region. This image deals with the protest movement in Myanmar as a response to the military coup d'etat that happened in February last year. When you look at the image, the people are in a very, very strong stance, the way that they position themselves, but they're holding slingshots. They're not even armed with weapons, but even with the slingshot, they carry themselves with so much power.
It's in a way a classic image of protest, but at the same time the photographer is really there. He's really close to the subject, so he's taking the same risk as the protesters.
It's very important for us to remember that democracy is very fragile, and overnight things can change, like what we saw in Myanmar. I thought it was interesting when we looked at the stories from all over the world. There were so many stories about the devastation of climate change, fires in Greece, Siberia, rising temperatures. And then here you had this amazing story from Australia about a people that has learned to burn the forest as a way of controlling bushfires.
It was so well put together that you cannot even think of images in disparate ways. You look at it as a whole, and it was very well done.
One of the images is 2 children in the forest at dark, but they are cast with an orange glow on them, and the glow came from them setting the bark of the tree on fire to use as a light source for hunting at night. And this is such a wonderful example of how we can live with nature, because fire is not a bad thing, but it has become a bad thing because of our mad rush for progress and technological development. We've pitted ourselves against nature.
Long-term projects provide a space for a photographer to really delve deeper into the issues that they're trying to portray, they're trying to photograph, and that's a space that's given, but it needs to also be used well.
One of the things that we were really looking for was a very, very strong edit of work from across the years, which is very difficult to do. This project looks at something that is very well known in Southeast Asia. It's a problem that's been going on for a very long time, the issue of seasonal haze that affects a lot of countries in the Southeast Asia region. The black and white project shows us in a very dramatic fashion, which is actually required because this issue is so intense and important in the region, all of the ways in which the haze affects Indonesians and its environment. I was looking out for photographers who had managed to use different mediums to propel their storytelling, and I was really looking forward to being surprised by it.
It takes from the 1976 protest of students at the university and the crackdown that killed a lot of people. That was erased totally, and then the photographer took the archives, was able to find the archives of that crackdown, and rebuilt a new archives in connection to protests of young people today in the same country. So it's also a way to make a bridge between generations about how people fight for democracy, human rights, And so that connection and that link is done also with highlighting a cultural symbol that is the gold thread that is used to repair broken objects that you find in the culture in Japan and that you also find in the culture of Mali on the African continent.
I think that photographers work very hard and sacrifice a lot because it's not a very rewarding, financially rewarding industry. And I feel like anyone who sacrifices so much deserves his or her story to be heard.
So many beautiful images and beautiful works. It's amazing, the quality and the importance and the relevance of the topics.